Hello, this is Thav Exclusive. My name is William Sabule. Today I have a very interesting guest with me. He's been described as a man of many sides, and is also a management consultant and the principal of Myra's Empire. You want to know all about him? You stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey there! Are you looking to record your videos, do your voiceovers, and take your professional pictures? Look no further. With our state-of-the-art newsroom, photography, kitchen for our food content creators, and exclusive children's studio, we certainly can deliver the best studio experience. Our carefully designed studio space can bring your diverse creative content ideas to life. We aim to consistently serve value to our customers far and wide. Come, let Thav Media give life to your dreams. Thav Media, a slice of infotainment.
Welcome back. All right, I've been joined by Mr. Olumati Isaiah. You're very much welcome.
Thank you for having me, Williams.
It's such a pleasure having you here.
Yeah.
All right, let's meet this man, Olumati Isaiah, a man of many sides. Tell us a little bit about your early life. Who is Olumati Isaiah, the principal? We want to know what the principal even means.
Sounds like I'm being profiled. Okay, my name is Olumati Isaiah. C. It's a part a lot of people don't see. I'm Nigerian. I'm Rivers. I'm Ikwere. What else? I'm a management consultant. I like to refer to myself as a music business enthusiast, but beyond that, I'm a music business person because I own a record company. So I do that. Management moves me in different directions. One point I'm in sales, the other time I'm in branding. It makes you know quite a bit of many things to do and then work with a lot of people. That to your question, why I'm referred to as the principal.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that principal is some nickname. It's not a nickname. It's actually an organizational description. Like you have the CEO, the president, and all of that. So basically, we were colonized by the British. When you have CEO, that is US. That's American. When you have president, that's American. We're talking about those who own a particular company or organization. But the British, they say the principal of this organization. And being one who is pretty exposed to the whole concept of branding, I needed something that would stand me out. I wasn't going to go for CEO or president and all of that. We had to settle for the principal. So it stuck. I say a lot of people say principal.
Yeah, that's interesting. So music business, why music business?
Oh, music business. I grew up with a gifted family. I grew up with music all over. Every single person that made my basic influence growing up played music. Basketball played music, used to play drums for my church. My dad used to play the lead guitar. My mom did sing. All my uncles and aunties, they were top guys doing live performances somewhere, sometime in Lagos at every point in time. So you couldn't run. If you are in the sitting room, they're probably playing a video from Lauren Hill's, Integrity, all of those. If you run to the room, somebody's playing with a Walkman those days. That's one thing. And you go to the other room, somebody's playing. You just could not escape music. And I grew up loving music. And yes, I did sing.
Oh, I was going to ask that.
Yes, I did sing. The 90s, we evolved. And I used to have a band, and my band were my siblings really. By the 2000s, there were just two rock bands in the whole of Nigeria, my band and Treadstone.
Wow, so you did rock?
Yeah, we did rock. We did R&B, rock pop. That's what we did.
That's not a common genre.
Nah, it's not common. Yeah, so, but I had to stop and take the back seat when I came to Port Harcourt. Music in terms of structured music, having record labels and having managers and people push the career of other people were not a thing or was not a thing then, and I felt like someone needed to push, and that was probably around the point where Banky W had begun to experience some struggle with Wizkid. So Banky was a performing and recording artist, and he had signed Wizkid, who was a performing and recording artist, and I did notice that Banky struggled with his career because there was a tendency for Banky to override Wizkid's career. After all, he was financing. And Wizkid is seemingly signed to his record. No, Wizkid is signed to his record label and seemingly his boy. And Banky had the choice of destroying Wizkid's career to keep his career afloat. And at the point, Banky had to pause his career, and I took instruction from that. If I have to stay in front and perform, there are chances that I now have to struggle with the people I'm giving an opportunity. So you know what? Cut all of this, take the back seat, let these guys fly.
Wow, quite insightful. So how has the music business been? I mean, you're now in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. Let's focus on the business as it were here in Rivers State, entertainment generally. How has it been?
It's pretty challenging. I would have wanted to say that there is no industry in Rivers State, but if I say that, it's going to sound particular to Rivers State. Really, there's no industry in Nigeria. I feel like everybody playing in the system, we're all traders, because we don't have necessary components that makes up an industry. What we have at best is we have pockets. But then, to be honest, Rivers State is worse. Worse off, so it makes it more challenging. There is also the educational factor. Every business is challenged by logic, dynamics, and culture. Rivers State is challenged on all three frontiers. And that makes it pretty difficult because people think that music is some pass-by, hobby of some sort. Music is not that kind of hobby. And I keep saying that music is the only thing, or one of the few things that can pay you much more than a director in Shell.
Wow.
As an individual artist. I know the figures. I know the figures, and I can tell you it's beyond what we think or a lot of people think is social media hype. If you talk of the top 4 biggest artists in Nigeria, they are billionaires and millionaires in dollars.
Wow. As a record label owner, how do you distinguish between people that actually have the talent and people that are just coming on to sign up or coming up trying to, use the avenue of music to just gain cheap popularity? How do you distinguish between talent and,
The thing is a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. Part of my gift set, which is a blessing, is talent spotting. So I literally see people and I can tell that this is gold. But beyond talent spotting, understanding character is a problem.
No.
So the real problem is not talent, it's character. And running a record label, there's a lot of conversation out there. People think record labels are bad and whatever. But the truth is, it's not casting aspersion. One of the realest problems we have to deal with are the artists coming in for recording. And probably we could use this to school just a bit. When a record label signs on an artist, everything we do, so when we sign on an artist, the artist, you say sign on by industry term, but what it is that the artist is a staff of the record company. So you have employed a staff of the record company, and there is usually an agreement what to pay a staff. Do you understand that? As a staff, everything you do for the company is owned by the company because the company finances everything you do. There is none of your input except, of course, for the fact that you probably, note the word probably, with more organized institutions like Sony Music and Universal, most of their artists, or a couple of their artists don't write music. They have songwriters. You come, someone writes the song, you learn the song, you perform the song. It is why when you look at the credit, you now realize that, this guy, why should this person have the credit? It should have been in the name of the artist. Someone else wrote the song. They are also on the payroll of the company, okay? So everything a record label does is invest in the notoriety, in the popularity, in the integrity of the artist. And most of the times, all the artists do is come in, wait for you to invest enough in them, and they leave. What you can never take away is the investment in that name.
Yeah, of course.
So when they leave, regardless of how much you do, think of it. The first time you think of an artist, you don't think of the record company, you think of the artist. Because there's more investment in the name of the artist. So the company spends a lot of money investing in them, and they take off. And they come in with the intention to have an investment on their name and then take off. And that's a very bad place to be at. So we have to deal with this risk. We have to deal knowing that every day we wake up, we're investing in someone else's name. Who can wake up tomorrow and leave? And the problem with having a squabble with them is it's a rule globally. The bigger brand will always be wrong in the court of social justice.
All right, thank you very much. Well, we've been having very interesting revelations from you today. And for our viewers, well, I hope you've been enjoying the conversation. You stay tuned. We'll be right back after this short break.
My name is Caroline Alfred, and I am your host.
I don't love nagging men.
I think if Ed Sheeran is not at my wedding, I may leave the wedding.
So if I'm meeting somebody, I would like that person to...
Every lady out there would like a level-headed man.
What does love mean to you? Spinsters and bachelors get to meet themselves on a blind date, get to know each other better, and get into relationships that would culminate into marriage eventually.
All right, welcome back from that break. I still have Mr. Olumati Isaiah with me here, and we've been having a very interesting time. So, back to you, sir. What is the culture of mentorship in the music industry like?
The culture of mentorship in the music industry, we're not yet there. A lot of people are still, they still have their eyes on needing investors, as it were. So someone comes to you and says, I want to be mentored by you. They don't understand that mentorship has to do with a lot of learning. The ability to see behind the scene, understand firsthand what happens before you go out there and make your attempt for yourself. So people are always hoping that they can reach out to someone and request for mentorship, and then that person becomes their financier. The whole idea of mentorship is not to become your burden bearer. It's to teach you how to maneuver through your challenges. But people are not really there yet. And for the music industry, the figures that we churn out, both real figures and doctored figures, figures are overwhelming sometimes. So people just want to jump in and get the figure.
And get way up there in one day.
It's a problem. We'll get there. Even when people say they want to come into, they want to have mentorship around the music, they're not even sure what they want. I'm hoping that one day we'll have people who can say, I want to understand how songwriting works. I want to understand how publishing works. I want to understand how being a recording artist works or being a producer works. But everybody wants to be in the spotlight, be there on stage, have all the lights and cameras and stuff. There is more work. I feel like being on stage is 3% of the whole work.
So would you say that talent is not enough?
No, talent is like 1% of the whole concept.
So
you can be very gifted and fail powerfully at this. You can be very gifted and fail powerfully because the concept here is that when you design a product, a good product does not sell itself. That you have to trash that idea that tells you that if you have a great product, it will sell. No, a good product does not sell. Great salesmen sell good products. And of course, great salesmen sell bad products. All of sales is the manipulation of perception. And if you don't have that, you can sell. You have a great voice, write awesome music. Sing it to your family and those on the streets.
All right. Well, your music label, that's Myros Empire, has been associated with gospel music. Would you describe your music label as a gospel music label?
No, I'm a business person. I'm not a religious organization. So, though our market entry started more on the back of gospel artists, we had 5 artists when we started, we signed up. But because we do music, we don't do church, we just do music. We're business people, So it's like saying we produce gospel cream. We don't produce gospel cream. So we have some new sets of artists that we signed. We recently just signed in Taria Palibo, and he's doing great. He's not a gospel artist. But then, as part of my belief, it's easy to tell that I'm a person of faith, and I'm very particular about contributing in that faith-based environment. We have done poorly when it has to do with creating products for the gospel organization and being able to merchandise what we have, because there is a religious play around it, and it's difficult because the people have many years of indoctrination, many years of misappropriation and misunderstanding. This is a challenge for us, but we are hoping that as we continue to expand and people begin to become better and we advance, we will embrace the concept of an industry. And when we embrace the concept of an industry, we will find best expression with sales, distribution, and creating product, as it were.
All right. You are a man of many skills, I must say. But how do you manage to stay productive on all these levels?
I'll try to answer, but I have to put a caveat. I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know. I think it comes effortlessly to me, but then there's time management. There's time management, and there's I don't know how to explain it. It all works here. It all works here. I'm one of those people that can think 4 things at the same time. I could be thinking 4 different things at the same time, putting them in perspective, and then deliver. I don't joke with time management. I'm careful with my timeline. I try not to choke myself. I would rather take a longer timeline so that I'm able to deliver to every other person. But most importantly, I say this to business owners. There is an attitude, or there are 2 sides a business owner must have. You must have the executive side and you must have the staff side. The reason more staff are productive at their organization is because they know that their salary is tied to performance. And if you don't perform, you'll be sacked. Most people leave their working environment and become heads of their own organizations, but they feel secure because they cannot be sacked. But they forget that when you take that responsibility, you have the destinies of families tied to you. Not every time you see an individual working in an office place, it's beyond that individual. It's a mother and a father who is dependent. It's a younger brother or a sister who is dependent. It's a cousin. So you have to take your job seriously, knowing that people's lives are tied to yours. People's possibility and progress is tied to yours. And it's such a weight to bear. And if you are not empathetic and responsible at that level, you begin to fall slack at the job.
Wow. All right. Aside Myers Empire, there's also the Olumati Company. Tell us a bit about that.
The Olumati Company is where I run management consulting and trainings for people. So I help businesses grow in diverse ways. Management consulting is it's a short term for a whole lot. Because part of what we do is we help organizations from ground up. And we can meet you at any point, regardless of what you want, whether it's we are meeting you at the point of sales, or we are meeting you at the point of branding, or we are meeting you at the point of creating an exit point, if that's where your business or what your business requires. Whatever it is around the ability to manage business effectively, you find us do that at the Olumati Company.
In all of this, do you find time to unwind? How's your relaxation like? Do you ever have time for yourself?
Really, I try to. Relaxation is actually a thing of the mind. I have friends, and we are out taking a walk or having to sit down, and we are having a conversation. And it sounds like they are in the conversation, but 80% of their mind is still at work. So, relaxation is a thing of the mind. I feel relaxed. Sometimes yesterday was tense for me. I mean, to be honest with you, I couldn't sleep last night because I was under pressure for a product. And I woke up this morning and I said to myself, you know what? If I die now, that product will go on, So I log out. I'm chilling. I ain't taking no calls. Until tomorrow, you know. I need to rest and get back myself and then go back to work.
With all of this passion and drive to what you do, I would ask, well, one would wonder, what kind of legacy would you like to leave behind?
I would say a good legacy, as it were. But this is it. Yeah, there are 2 things foremost on my mind. And it's interesting. The Bible says a good man leaves an inheritance for his children. a good man. And it's interesting that that's the only instance in which the Bible defines a man as good. And I think that's legacy. To be able to leave an inheritance for my children and their children. So that they are able to come to this world and have a springboard for their chance at excellence and for their chance at success. The second legacy I want to leave, and quote me anywhere and anytime, I would always talk about these two, is to be able to know that whilst I am leaving this world, I have given no fewer than 100 people an opportunity at life to start their own organization that will allow them also leave an inheritance for their children.
Wow, that's very, very apt. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Olumati. I know that if we're going to discuss all that you represent, it won't be in one day.
I will do a documentary.
But anyway, thank you for joining
for
us
me.
on Thav Exclusive. All right, viewers, thank you very much for watching. Until next time on Thav Exclusive, my name is William Sabule. Bye.